Welcome to this video. In the previous lecture, we had seen fixed bias circuit. We also saw that it is not stabilized against temperature variations and transistor parameter variations. So today we will see another transistor biasing network known as collector to base bias circuit. So I have drawn the circuit diagram here. So if you observe the diagram, you can see that it is very similar to fixed bias circuit except for the connection of this resistance RB. Here, the resistance RB is directly connected to collector terminal of the transistor. In fixed bias, we have connected it directly to the battery VCC. Okay, so this is the difference. Now we can mark the currents in this circuit. Voltages I have already marked. This is VCE with this polarity, and this voltage is VBE with plus minus polarity shown here. Now emitter terminal of the transistor is this one, so the current going out is IE. So this current is IE, and this is the base terminal of the transistor, so the current coming in is IB. This is the collector terminal, so the current flowing into collector terminal is IC. So you can see that the same current IB is flowing through RB, so this current is IB. So if you apply KCL at this point C, okay, if you apply KCL at point C, you can write the current flowing through RC. So the current flowing through RC will be sum of these two currents. So it is IB plus IC. Okay. Now we can write Kirchhoff's voltage law on this loop. Okay. On the input side, we can write the Kirchhoff's voltage law. So we have written similar expression in the case of fixed bias. So you can recollect that. So start with this source VCC. Then there's a drop in this resistance RC with this polarity. So it is minus current flowing through the resistance RC is IB plus IC into RC. So this is the drop IB plus IC into RC. Now coming to this resistance RB, there is also a potential drop with this polarity. So the drop is current flowing through RB, that is IB into RB. So it is minus IB RB. Then there is a potential drop across the base emitter terminals, that is VBE. So it is minus VBE equal to 0. So now we can rewrite it like this. We can open this bracket, minus IB RC minus IC RC minus IB RB minus VBE equal to 0. Now combine these two terms. So it is VCC minus IB into RC plus RB minus IC RC minus VBE equal to 0. Now what is IB? If I rearrange this equation, I can write expression for IB. IB is VCC minus VBE minus ICRC divided by this coefficient RC plus RB. Now we can comment on the performance of this circuit against temperature variations using this expression. So let me copy this expression. So suppose temperature increases. Suppose temperature is increasing. So what happens? So when temperature increases, minority carriers increases. So the reverse leakage current ICBO will increase. This is known to us. So when ICBO increases, what happens? IC will increase. Why? Because IC is, we have already seen this, IC is beta IB plus beta plus 1 times ICBO. Okay, so when ICBO increases, IC will increase. So when IC increases, what happens? The term ICRC will also increase because RC is a resistance, fixed value. So ICRC will increase. So when ICRC increases, what is the consequence? you can see that this term goes up, this ICRC term increases, so it is subtracted from VCC, so this numerator will decrease, so IB will decrease. When ICRC increases, this IB will decrease from this expression, so IB decreases. So when IB decreases, what happens? IC is beta times IB if you neglect the reverse current. So when IB decreases, IC will also decrease. So now this IC decrease in IB will counteract the initial increase in IC. So there is a check against increase in IC due to temperature variations. So this circuit will not go into thermal runaway. So it is stabilized against temperature variations. Okay, now we can analyze the performance under transistor parameter variations, that is beta variations. So to do that, we can use this expression. This KVL on the input side, we can use that. So here, let me replace IC by beta IB. So this becomes VCC minus IB plus beta IB into RC minus IB RB minus VBE equal to 0. Now we can take IB common here. So this is minus of beta plus 1 into IB into RC. Here it is IB into RB minus VBE equal to 0. So what is IB? It is VCC minus VBE divided by beta plus 1 times RC plus RB. I have just rearranged this expression so that I will get an expression for IB. Okay, so IB is VCC minus VBE by beta plus 1 into RC plus RB. So what is IC? If this is IB, what is IC? IC is beta times IB. So it is beta into this expression, VCC minus VBE divided by beta plus 1 into RC plus RB. Now we will use this assumption, that is beta plus 1 is approximately equal to beta, because beta is a number much greater than 1. So beta plus 1 is approximately equal to beta is a safe assumption. So you can replace this beta plus 1 by beta. So what happens? Beta into VCC minus VBE divided by beta RC plus RB. Now we can use a design criteria here. So let me rewrite this expression in the next page. IC is equal to beta times VCC minus VBE divided by beta RC plus RB. Okay, so if I use this criteria, that is beta RC is much greater than RB, then I can write it like this: beta into VCC minus VBE by beta RC, because RB is negligible compared to beta RC if this is this criteria, design criteria is used. Then you can cancel beta from both numerator and denominator. So IC becomes VCC minus VBE divided by RC. So what is the inference? This is independent of beta. This IC is now independent of beta. So due to transistor parameter variation or beta variation, now IC will not change. Okay, so the circuit is stabilized against the beta variation if this design criteria is used. But there is a disadvantage for using this criteria. We will see what is that. So the criteria used is beta RC must be much larger than RB. So this is satisfied only if RC, there are two possibilities. First possibility is RC is very high. Okay, if I select very large value of RC, then this will be easily satisfied. Beta RC will be much greater than RB. If I use high value of RC, what happens? You can see that when RC is increased, there is more voltage drop across RC. So this VCE will decrease because total source voltage is VCC. So if the major amount is dropped across RC, then only the remaining voltage available across VCE, across collector to emitter terminals, or VCE will decrease. So to maintain VCE, what we have to do? You have to use a battery with a higher voltage. VCC has to be increased. So that will increase the cost. Okay. So that is the disadvantage of using higher RC. So when you use high value of RC, VCC has to be increased or cost increases. Now another possibility is I can reduce RB to satisfy this relation. If I reduce RB, then also this will be satisfied. So if I reduce RB, what happens? Let us redraw the diagram here. So if you observe the diagram, you can see that RB is connected between collector and base. So you know that we will apply the input signal, AC signal, to the base of the transistor through a coupling capacitor. Okay, input signal is applied to the base of the transistor, and we will take the output amplified version of the input signal, or output signal is measured at the collector terminal with respect to this ground or emitter. Okay, so the implication is this resistance RB serves as a feedback path between collector and base. So if you reduce the value of RB, there is more feedback from output to input. So it is actually a negative feedback, and it will reduce the gain of the transistor. And those aspects we will see later in the course. So for the time being, I will conclude it as when RB decreases, there is more negative feedback, and gain of the amplifier decreases. So that is not a good design. So these are the problems with the collector to base biasing circuit. So we will stop it here, and we can continue in the next class. Thank you.